What's up, crypto friends? In my last video I talked about the energy consumption of Bitcoin and a bit about Elon Musk, and in this video we will go deeper in the topic of the energy consumption of Bitcoin. Before we start, we upload every Tuesday and every Friday, so if you don't want to miss a video, don't forget to subscribe. Here we go. So it is a really present topic in the media. Everywhere you hear about the enormous energy consumption of Bitcoin. And I mean, it is not a secret that Bitcoin consumes a lot of energy, and it is not a secret that Bitcoin consumes even the amount of energy that a small country uses. But here's the thing. A lot of things, as I told you in my other video, uses a lot of energy if you look at them isolated. If you look at the energy consumption of anything, it probably consumes the same amount as Bitcoin or even more than Bitcoin. In this way, it does not matter if you look at the energy balance of anything like the production of aluminum, steel, batteries, clothes, or even the production of gold. By the way, the production of gold consumes way more energy than the production of Bitcoin. And well, I know your argument and what you want to say now. These are things that are necessary for our society, and we need these things to keep our society working. But really, do we need this amount of clothes? Do we really need this amount of gold we produce every year? I mean, 50% of all our gold we produce is used for jewelry. Do we need this? And even if you think the energy consumption of all the things I said right now is somehow justified, the energy consumption of the Christmas decoration of the United States needs more energy in a couple of months than whole Ethiopia needs for 1 year. Do we need this? Next point is that a Bitcoin transaction uses way more energy than a credit card transaction. There's something in the room like one Bitcoin transaction uses more energy than 80,000 credit card transactions. So this energy we use for Bitcoin is not used in an efficient way. Well, keep in mind, for Bitcoin, to keep Bitcoin running, the blockchain and its mining is mandatory. But the energy we have to use for the mining is the only energy Bitcoin actually uses and needs. A transaction itself for Bitcoin does not need a fixed amount. The energy we have to use in the case of Bitcoin is used for keep the system running, not the transaction. And the demand of this energy is constantly changing. The amount of used energy is varying on the amount of miners participating in the system, not the amount of transaction is made. So the more miners we have in the system, the more energy is needed. With greater adoption and over time with more users using Bitcoin and more transaction in the system, the energy consumption for one transaction will lower over time. And additionally, you have to keep in mind money or other fiat currencies are regulated and administrated by governments, central banks, and the banking system. And all of them have some administrative energy costs, like lighting their offices, running their ATMs, printing the money, and so on. And I mean, I don't want to hate fiat currencies and our general money, since we need it to keep the society running. But Bitcoin helps people and societies and even countries right now as well. Look at El Salvador. Another thing which, for example, Elon Musk criticized as well is the source of the energy Bitcoin miners are using. Many Bitcoin miners are from China, and the energy from China is not out of green sources but from coal plants. Well, this is a major problem in our world and our society, but this is not a problem of Bitcoin. This is a China problem, and let me explain. Imagine you are the CEO of a company or a large corporate. Aside from selling a product to a customer or solving a problem for your clients, you have to earn money. And one part of your job will be to try to keep your cost lower so you make more money. And I mean, you're not the only one who is producing this product. So you try to sell your product as cheap as you can to your customers. And well, one way to offer a cheap product is actually, so you try to keep your production costs low. And of course, I don't want to say this is a good thing, or I mean, it is morally debatable if this is okay. But a lot of companies and a lot of corporates are doing this. And back to our miners. So the product for the miners is Bitcoin. And the production costs for the mining, of course, is the energy. So what you do as a miner, if you are producing Bitcoin, you try to keep your energy costs low. And again, I don't want to justify that this is okay, but why do you think many companies and many corporates are producing in China? Because the government barely cares about how this product is produced. They don't give a fuck about working circumstances, about the environment, or the energy where it comes from actually. What the government is caring for is the political and economical power. And as soon something threatens this power, they try to regulate it. And this is exactly why Bitcoin right now is regulated in China. And one additional thing, people think proof of work is out of date and it is useless. Same like Bitcoin, by the way. The proof of work keeps the whole system secure. And the alternative would be proof of stake right now. The major point why proof of work was invented and used in the first cryptocurrency was to keep it decentralized. And proof of work actually keeps the distribution of Bitcoin highly decentralized. And of course, proof of stake is using less power, but it ensures power to people who have already power. You have a bunch of Ethereum, you can stake it, you can earn interest on it, and get even more power. This is not the spirit of a decentralized cryptocurrency. And additionally, if you think Bitcoin is useless, here's one thing: we are talking about the high energy consumption of Bitcoin. And I mean, this energy has a real value, it costs money. So one Bitcoin has actually a real value, and this is the amount of energy it consumed. So in conclusion, I agree that the Bitcoin energy consumption is a problem, but not because Bitcoin consumes energy, but what energy Bitcoin consumes. I mean, this is a problem for all branches and not only for Bitcoin. The energy has to be green. And I think in the case of climate change, we have, and especially governments, have to act in a responsible way. And this is not a thing for Bitcoin, or this is not a thing for the aluminum production or the car production in Germany or somebody else, but for the government and the politicians. And I disagree that we should change from proof of work to proof of stake, since, as I told you, proof of stakes empowers people who are already powerful. Although, of course, proof of work and proof of stake have positive and negative sides. So guys, this would it be with the energy consumption of Bitcoin. Tell me in the comments what you think about the energy consumption, and tell me if you agree or disagree. Please don't forget to leave a like, and I see you next time. Bye!